we've of course been blessed with one of the developers, or the developer, I guess. There's no other developers, I don't think, for this game that we've been playing. Toasty, just quickly, does anybody want to hands up and have anything they want to say right away? Something or... okay, Genesis.
Let's go.
Go ahead, give them your feedback, and I'll we'll just, if it gets too talky, we'll figure things out.
I definitely think Mago was too heavily nerfed. Fighting the character, it feels very weak. You've lowered the damage, and not only that, but lowered the amount that he life steals, which is in tandem with his damage. So it was like a double nerf times 2.
I actually don't think I nerfed the damage, did I?
I think you did. Let me double check the patch notes.
Technically, only thing that was reduced with damage was his ability to light targets on fire, but...
okay, but that does heavily affect his damage.
It does, kind of sure.
Longer. It does take a little longer for him to start getting crits, especially on targets far away. But other than that, everything else feels great. I need more play time to really get a good understanding of what might need to be changed. I am an Overwatch 2 player, not an Overwatch 1 player, so this is my first time playing 6v6.
Oh, cool. Did you like it?
I loved it. It was a lot of fun. More things to kill.
Awesome.
Glory days.
Just quickly, Toast, do you have anything to say back on that?
Not really. That's a good note, honestly. He's true. He's facts. He's spitting facts.
Awesome. Next hand.
He's cooking. Hand.
Sleepy, hit him.
Okay, so as somebody who has played Overwatch for a really long time, like since Ana's release, I think is when I started, this definitely is the best recreation of 6v6 as it felt back then that I've
second best
so
in comparison to mine.
Of course, yeah. Those are fantastic.
Sorry. Bit of me.
And there was one point where I kind of like almost flashbacked into like I felt like I was back on my PS4 and playing like Lucio on King's Row, and everything was good, and like back in the old 6v60s. I had some nostalgia while I was playing this game mode, but there was a point when I was playing Ana where I remembered why we went to 5v5, because there was a series of like 10 minutes where the only shots I could put out as Ana were on tanks, and it was just not like it was fun because I was shooting things and dopamine or whatever, but the only thing that I was shooting for a solid 10 minutes was tanks, and I didn't even have the option to sneak in damage anywhere like I do sometimes during the 5v5. So that's an interesting observation.
Can I ask quickly what composition that was for tanks? Do you know?
Oh, I don't remember. If King's Row, when we were approaching the approaching the third point.
Okay. Toasty, thoughts?
I think, that's a very valid point, actually. Something that I didn't typically think about was having supports kind of forced into the more heal bot roles that they don't typically do nowadays in Overwatch. I think just because there's less to do as a support when it comes to pocketing a tank. I will look into seeing if I can make that not as much of a problem. I don't want to go too over the top, but
it's not really a complaint. It's just
okay.
It was an authentic replication of what 6v6 kind of turned into.
That may also be team comp issue. Like if you're running a team comp that doesn't have very many good durability cooldowns and they're just kind of meat shields in front of there, they're going to demand a lot more healing, so that could just be a byproduct of that.
All right. Cool. Next hand. Bucket?
I'm trying to come up with something to say.
Bucket came
I'd like to ask,
Tommy. I'll go to
did you do something to sleep on tanks timing, or like?
Yes, tanks are back to being slept for 5 seconds.
Hallelujah.
Okay.
Praise.
That's why it felt so long. I got my full 8 hours today. God.
Just making sure you're well rested.
A note on the balance of Reinhardt. I don't think he has enough fire strikes.
I think he needs 8.
Yes, exactly. He gets it.
Can I ask you though, Monkey, from like an actual balance perspective, is that something that felt really hindering to you? Like a necessity?
No, he was fine.
He was fine. Okay.
But he could be more fine.
Reaching for the second fire strike though.
Well, yeah. That's just muscle memory at this point.
Give him 2 shatters too.
Yeah, I'm used to like using the first one to direct people to the second one. So
I've just played so much Overwatch 1 Reinhardt that I just always go for the I just hit it the first time. Genius.
Okay.
Hand?
Whose hands?
Oh, Genesius again.
Okay. Hit us.
Yeah. Lucio should be able to one-shot like in that one experimental build.
Okay, you're joking.
Drop the beat on someone's
You're
time.
joking, but I actually thought about putting that back in.
So,
Please do.
Honestly,
I don't blame you.
a fun comparison I just want to point out quickly is that we have our own like 6v6 meme more game mode where we've like fully changed a lot of we've like half the health of the tanks too and everything, and it like we can definitely compare and contrast that, because the one shot
Not
stuff
as
is a
much
bit of a meme,
emphasis.
but it's not as this one definitely nowhere near as refined as this.
Sniper monkey.
Was there anything? Does anybody else quickly have a hand to say? Because I'll ask a general question to everybody here. All right. Was there anything that felt really bad in comparison to Overwatch 2? Right? Was there stuff that like especially combos, the tank combos? I know that Sleepy mentioned that it's a property that you end up kind of standing behind the tanks the entire time, but were there any kind of setups immediately that stood out to you guys as something that was like walking into a brick wall, right? Something that was a composition that was impossible.
We observed that Ram Rhine is really strong on choke point heavy maps. And then as the receiving Reinhardt of this endeavor, being the Reinhardt receiving the stuns of another Reinhardt and a Doomfist was like pretty brutal.
All I'm saying is that we need a good wall and a good Doom, and that's going to be hell.
That's GG. That is completely
Well,
GG.
you got one half here.
All right.
My thing is that it's just a byproduct of it being 6v6, but the visual clutter goes insane, bro.
Yeah, it does.
Sometimes I'm looking on my screen and it's like I'm getting overloaded with
There's
colors.
so much
The visual
Overwatch.
clutter was about this bad, then Overwatch 2 happened, and they reduced a whole bunch of it, and then they went crazy with it, and now it's back up to about where it was in Overwatch 1. But then adding in another character in the Overwatch 2 that's
And
been
adding in a big old glowing
visually
tree
cluttered.
and a flower petal and
I have hand I'd like to raise.
Hit us.
I actually thought it was really cool when we were doing Coliseum, as like Sulak pointed out, because it was difficult for him to like look at them both. But there were two separate mini fights that wound up forming, and something like that is really cool because you can. It takes a lot more communication and a lot more focus to like pay attention to the game at that point, rather than with the 5v5 with the tank, the one tank being the main focus point. Having two tanks, I didn't really see like the off tank and the main tank like form again. I just saw two separate fights going on is what I saw.
I kind of felt the same.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't a clear
very-
off tank.
Yeah, it could very easily split into 3v3s.
I like
And
that.
Also, I like how it's because you could theoretically build a comp around having 2 3-on-3 or like have a 3-on-3
Run a
comp.
brawl and a dive. Oh my god. Holy shit.
Oh yeah, sit on point and don't die and a jump on people comp.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah, I mean, it would make sense to have a dive with like poke or brawl, because then the dive could very easily get behind the team and pincer attack their ass.
Well, that's
dude.
one thing I'll point out. I personally miss a lot from Overwatch 1 was when you had a team composition, and let's say your team was like down, or someone was being garbage, or you needed like your tank. Your tank composition would get totally countered, but you had a tank that wouldn't switch. You could have a Reinhardt be Zarya. Your Reinhardt's trash. Just go Winston, and then now you at least have you're able to like split your team off and build like a. I don't know, a whole separate team out of your composition. It's a layer of
Diff
complexity.
is too strong nowadays, I feel like.
It definitely helped. I will point out too, and just with that the tanks still may be tuned a little bit too heavy, but that's just them like having all of the utility from Overwatch 2 tanks, right? Like. I don't have any direct ideas about how to pull that back, but that's obviously something that we just want to watch out for, right? Because they still are a little bit powerful.
Also, supports don't need self-heal.
Yeah.
I didn't find myself feeling like I needed it one time during that entire thing. Like,
Agreed.
honestly.
Yeah.
I love that, especially with the second tank.
Yeah.
That was very fun, though. Thank you, Toasty, for that.
Yeah, that was really fun.
Very fun comp.
All right. Toasty, you have anything you want to say to everybody here?
Yes, actually. Thank you, everybody, for taking the time out of your day to come play this code, because that's been the one challenge ever since I put the full code together, was getting people consistently together to actually play these matches. If you haven't seen it yet, I left it in the the self-promotion Discord chat on this Discord. I've actually made a server explicitly for this code on its own, and anybody who's willing to pull together and try to find players to find it. So if you want to look to see the development of this code and what actually happens to it in the future, go check out that Discord. I'll be posting any sort of updates. I'll be taking any sort of feedback from it as well. And hopefully with more and more players on there, we'll be able to get more consistent matches going on. I will say, this upcoming next Saturday, we have a actual event scheduled right now for 8 p.m. that day. Joystick is hosting a 66 custom games as well on this code.
No way!
That's awesome. So cool. Okay,
I don't know how I managed to get that to happen, to be honest.
Because you kicked his ass in 1v1s for like months.
Post this shit. So you can. We would love to be a part of this. This is our community. Like what we've built is all custom game. Like we do love the core of Overwatch. We do play regular scrims sometimes. We have 5v5s and whatever, right? But we've been doing this weekly for years, and I would love this to be a much more consistent thing, because I've always built the game modes myself. A few of the other players here have helped out build other game modes, but this is something that I would love to kind of continue with as a regular thing, at least, for our community. We will continue kind of watching this game mode and watching as you build it out and giving you feedback from it, because it was definitely one of the top tier custom game modes we've ever played. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, tell us what you enjoyed below. Don't forget to follow us and join our Discord for more community games. Want to support us directly? Patreon.com/scrubclub or coffee.com/scrubclubgames.